Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to this Frankfurt Book Fair Masterclass on turning data into gold. My name is Kat Cubbyduck, and I'm one of the directors here at Virtusales, where for over 25 years now we've been working alongside publishers, including 13 of the top global 50, such as Elsevier, Penguin Random House, and HarperCollins, along with many university presses, independent publishers, and even some UN agencies. We're a team of over 100, including 50 dedicated technologists, many of whom have come from a publishing background, so we really understand the challenges you're facing on a day-to-day basis. And we've designed BiblioSuite to help you with them, streamlining your workflows right from acquisition modeling through production, contracts rights, royalties, and sales analytics. So whether you're managing product metadata, production schedules, P&Ls or royalties, BiblioSuite helps you centralize your information easily and share it with your colleagues and partners. So our goal is simple. We'd like to help you cut down on your manual work, improve the quality of your data, and ultimately make it much easier for you to get your books to market. Today, I'm really pleased to be joined by two fantastic guests. First of all, we've got Helen Blount from Usborne Publishing. They are a recent and very deserving winners of IPG's Metadata Award. And Russell Taylor, our Head of Product Solutions here at Virtusales. Russell has got 20 years of experience in the industry and will be here to guide us through the BiblioSuite in a moment. To get started, I'd like to ask a question. Does your metadata truly work for you? Is it a key driver of commercial success or an administrative burden that's slowing you down? So I'm talking about the direct commercial impact of poor discoverability, which makes brilliant books simply invisible on Amazon. The wasted staff time spent manually updating and correcting errors, and the operational drag that slows down your time to publication. We're also talking about the retailer frustration that comes from sending inaccurate data and that can really damage those crucial partner relationships. So today, we're here to show you how to transform that and how a strategic approach like the one that Usborne adopted can help turn your metadata from a hidden liability into a primary driver for discoverability, efficiency, and even new revenue streams for your business. So what can you expect from the next hour? Well, first of all, we'll take a deeper dive into some of those challenges we've just mentioned. Then I'll hand over to Russell, who will jump into BiblioSuite for a focused product walkthrough. He'll show you exactly how our tools can streamline your workflows, enrich your data, and automate distribution. And then you'll hear from Helen at Usborne about their award-winning journey and how they've put these strategies into practice and really achieved some quite incredible results. We'll wrap up with some key takeaways and a Q&A at the end. So let's get started with that deeper dive and have a look at some of the real-world impacts of poor metadata. Starting with the biggest impact on the bottom line, lost sales. The single biggest cause of this is poor metadata causing poor discoverability. In today's crowded digital marketplace, if your metadata isn't complete or accurate, your book becomes a digital ghost. Titles won't appear in relevant searches on Amazon, Waterstones, or Barnes & Noble, or other e-commerce sites. And if keywords are missing, BISAC thema codes are wrong, or contributor details are incomplete, the algorithms that recommend books to customers just can't do their job. Similarly, booksellers and librarians use systems like Nielsen Book Data or Bowker to find and order titles. So if your data is wrong, or the price is incorrect, a publication date, or binding information, they simply can't or won't order your book. And that means that your valuable backlist titles, which should be a source of steady income, effectively disappear because their data has never been updated, and these assets effectively become invisible online. And it's not just about direct search. How many times do retailers run promotions for summer reading, Black History Month, or other key events? These promotions are driven by metadata, and if your titles aren't tagged correctly, they simply won't appear in these opportunities. And these lost sales are often a symptom of a deeper problem: internal operational inefficiency. Now, if you look at this slide closely, you might notice a few oddities. There are some typos. Ingram is spelled Ingron. And there's a few other errors in there. And that's because this image was created by AI, and I've left those imperfections in on purpose because, in a way, I think that the AI process mirrors our own metadata challenges, where you can get a really powerful result, but without human expertise or the right systems to validate it, you could end up with some fairly costly errors and undermine the final product. So I think this diagram is the perfect illustration of the messy reality that we're here to solve. So thinking about the sheer amount of wasted time spent in your organization, manually updating spreadsheets, correcting errors, responding to endless email queries from retailers, perhaps asking for the correct cover or the image or the price, and constantly resending updated files, this repetitive low value work drains resources from editorial, marketing, and sales teams. The operational drag can also create bottlenecks that can genuinely delay your time to publication. A book simply can't go out for pre-order until the data is correct and accepted by partners. This not only frustrates your authors, but can actually disrupt marketing campaigns and even publishing schedules. And furthermore, these manual, disconnected workflows are a breeding ground for errors, where a single typo in an ISBN or a price entered into one of the many, many spreadsheets can have a ripple effect throughout the entire supply chain. And these can often be time-consuming and even costly to correct. So this isn't just an internal problem. This inefficiency has a ripple effect outwards, damaging your crucial business relationships and potentially your brand's reputation. Major retailers like Amazon and Ingram rely on automated systems, and when a publisher consistently provides poor data, it creates friction and extra work for them, and may even lead to the retailers deprioritizing that publisher's titles. If a bookseller orders what they believe is a hardback and a paperback arrives, the trust is eroded also. Consistent inaccuracies can lead to a loss of confidence from the distributors and the booksellers that you rely on. And critically, this impacts your authors. If an author sees one of their books listed with the wrong description, an old cover, or perhaps not appearing where it should do, it causes immense dissatisfaction and can reflect really badly on your publishing house. Finally, and perhaps most dangerously, all of these create a massive strategic blind spot. And without clean, consistent metadata, it's almost impossible to accurately analyze and track what is actually selling. This prevents publishers from understanding market trends, identifying successful niches, or knowing which parts of their list are performing best. This means your future acquisition decisions are based on guesswork and instinct rather than hard data. And you lose the ability to truly leverage your assets. You might have a dozen perfect titles for a film adaptation or a Mother's Day campaign, for example, but if you can't easily and readily query your data and find them, those opportunities are lost. So we're faced with lost sales, wasted time, and a flawed strategy, which are significant challenges, but they're absolutely solvable. And to show you how, I'll hand over to Russ for a look inside BiblioSuite.
Thank you, Kat. Hi everyone, I'm Russell Taylor, Head of Product Solutions at Virtusales. In the next 10 minutes, we'll walk through an in-system demo to show how BiblioSuite can help publishers tackle the underlying causes of the challenges that Kat described, those being too much manual data entry, inconsistent metadata, and the constant pressure to improve discoverability. We'll follow a common publisher workflow, creating a new paperback edition of an existing successful hardback. We'll follow the product's journey from initial setup through metadata enrichment, utilizing BiblioSuite AI to boost our metadata, and finally to distribution, demonstrating how you can save a wealth of time and transform your metadata. We begin our journey on a title record in BiblioSuite called Flamingo's Feather. In BiblioSuite, we operate on the principle of storing metadata at the highest appropriate level in the data hierarchy, meaning important metadata items like the cover title, authors, or illustrators are entered only once at the work level and inherited by all editions of the work, saving time and removing the chance of inconsistencies which could cause issues in the supply chain. Instead of starting from a branch screen, the new product wizard will guide me through creating the paperback record in a few simple steps. Leveraging the information from our existing hardback edition to make the process quicker. Mandatory data is highlighted by a red star next to the field. And you'll see drop-down fields are often used to avoid any inaccuracies, meaning that right from day one we're entering accurate metadata for our product. We'll shortly see that our paperback record has now been created, with lots of common information being intelligently copied from the hardback record, such as BiSAT codes. This process provides me with confidence in the quality of the metadata for our product and allows me to concentrate on any unique metadata for the paperback record. By choosing to synchronize the paperback record with the hardback, we can take this one step further, immediately populating it with a wide range of high-quality marketing information, such as a description or biography text that has previously been entered against the hardback record, saving me time and letting me build on the well-structured metadata. For information that was synchronized from our hardback, the paperback will automatically be kept in sync when changes are made to the hardback's copy fields, unless I choose to break the in for a particular field. Again, saving me time now and in the future, and helping me ensure that everything is consistent across the different products. The BiblioSuite Edition dashboard is the centerpiece of the journey to enter excellent metadata for your products. It shows in a single view all the key pieces of metadata for the product, so I can easily see what needs my attention. You'll see through the few simple steps we've taken so far that the majority of the metadata has already been entered. This includes core metadata from the work level, or the title or classification codes, descriptive metadata that's been synchronized from the hardback, again give me a good foundation to make any edits which might be unique to my paperback, and regional prices, which are automatically been calculated by a configured price template based on in-house rules. As well as textual metadata, rich content like interior images can be added simply by drag and drop. These images and other types of files which are securely stored against the edition, they'll be sent alongside the ONIX record to the market when we get to that stage later on, making my product more attractive to potential customers as they have better previews of the contents. We can also simply drag in our cover image and have it associated with our product record, the cover being really essential metadata for your customers. Okay, so what should we do next? Let's leverage BiblioSuite's integrated AI functionality to help boost the metadata we've already entered for our product into a rich, comprehensive set of metadata. This enhanced metadata significantly improves discoverability, optimizes search engine performance, and ultimately improves sales. We'll start by using this AI functionality to help suggest high-quality keywords for our product. The BiblioSuite AI tool will securely transfer the existing metadata for our product over to an AI model and then generate a set of keywords which I can easily apply to the record. This is all done in a private instance of an AI model, and none of your data from BiblioSuite is made public or stored permanently by the AI providers, so your data is kept private and secure at all times. The technology is assistive, and there's a human in the loop to make the final decision whether the keywords are appropriate. The keywords it's suggested are a rich list of commercially focused keywords optimized for platforms like Amazon. So next, let's use the BiblioSuite AI functionality to act as a creative partner, helping to generate a compelling keynote for our product based on the book's description. As with keywords, this can be done by only a few simple button clicks, and BiblioSuite makes a suggestion on what the keynote could be, helping me overcome writer's block and providing helpful suggestions. I can use the suggestion as a starting point to make any further changes, or if I wanted, regenerate the keynote again for another suggestion. The last example of how BiblioSuite AI functionality can be used to help boost our metadata is related to classification codes such as thema or bisect. We'll see that whilst the thema code was copied over from the hardback edition, there's currently only one assigned, which isn't optimal. Clicking into the Groups panel, you simply need to click the icon that says Thema 1.5 to ask the BiblioSuite AI to generate appropriate thema codes. We're using a single inbuilt system prompt for this example, and it's easy to configure additional prompts for each type of publish in the BiblioSuite maintenance area. After clicking Generate, we'll see that the AI has suggested a range of thema codes that could be appropriate for our title, which have not been assigned so far. They're ranked based on relevance, with the most appropriate ones near the top. We can choose the ones that we want to use, or we can click the icon at the top. Interestingly here, we'll see that BiblioSuite is suggesting that I cannot have more than 4 thema codes applied for my record, so let's unselect Scalpel and press Accept. At this point, all we need to do is press Save to have our product updated. This functionality works equally well with other types of classifications like bisect codes. We can now see that our edition record has a much wider set of thema code, which is much better for discoverability reasons. Once I'm happy with the metadata that has been entered for my product, the last step before it is seamlessly transferred to the market is to confirm the edition. Providing my approval for the record to be sent in the next scheduled ONIX feeds and indicating the product has been released to market. The confirmation wizard checks that my product has all the required core metadata populated and will guide me through anything which is missing. The wizard is intelligent and will only require me to populate metadata items which are relevant to the type of product, easily signposting me to the place where I need to enter each item for missing data. One data point to quickly highlight is the allocation of ISBNs or other main identifiers. BiblioSuite can manage this for you via a pool configured in the maintenance area, and all I need to do is simply click a single button to allocate the ISBN to my product, without needing to worry about which ISBN to choose. Once I've populated all the missing pieces of core product metadata, I can confirm the addition, automatically putting it in the queue to be transferred downstream to partners and retailers via scheduled ONIX feeds. The last step we'll take on our record is to preview how it will look when we send it out via ONIX. This can be done by the ONIX wizard. It's useful for finding any problems, and in case I want to check anything about how the detail will be sent downstream. The wizard lets me see the slightly different flavours of ONIX that we can configure based on each recipient's guidelines. And we'll see here that there are a couple of highlighted areas that the wizard suggests we investigate. The final piece of the puzzle are ONIX schedules, which will automatically send any new or changed records to recipients on a regular basis. BiblioSuite supports the latest ONIX standards and is updated regularly with any new capabilities to ensure you have the full range of options available for communicating the highest quality metadata to the market. Alongside the ONIX file itself, image assets such as the spread images we uploaded earlier can be automatically transferred to recipients' FTP sites without the need for any manual interaction. These images can be automatically converted by BiblioSuite to the required sizes and formats that are required by retailers, avoiding the chance they could be rejected and not shown to your customers. That brings me to the end of this short demo of the metadata management capabilities of BiblioSuite, and how they can help you overcome the challenges of distributing high-quality metadata to the market. Within our demo, we created a new paperback product, making use of a wide range of information from the hardback edition, saving us time from dual keying, utilised BiblioSuite's integrated, secure and private AI functionality to help boost the product's metadata, improving discoverability and search engine optimization, confirmed our product and saw how it automatically got sent downstream to partners via ONIX without the need for human interactions. Thanks for your time. I'll now hand back over to chat to continue the session.
Thanks very much, Russ. Now I'm really pleased to hand over to Helen, Metadata Manager at Usborne Publishing, recent IPG Metadata Award winners, and recipients of the BIC Gold Metadata Excellence Accreditation. Helen will now talk you through Usborne's metadata journey.
Thanks very much to Kat and Russell and Frankfurt Book Fair for inviting me here today. My name is Helen. I'm the Metadata Manager at Usborne Publishing. We've had a real transformation over the past 5 years at Usborne with our metadata, and today I'd like to just share some of the ways that Biblio has been helping us with that. I did just want to say at the outset, though, that although I'll be talking about our experiences, it really is just our personal experience. We're certainly not claiming to be a shining example of the way that metadata should be managed. So just as a quick intro to anyone who isn't familiar with Usborne, we're an independent children's book publisher. We were founded in 1973 by the late, great Peter Usborne. We celebrated our 50th birthday in 2023, and it remains a family business. CEO is Nicola Usborne, who's Peter's daughter. We've got 3 offices in the UK and 1 in Germany. And as it says here, almost all of Usborne's books are written and designed in-house, which is something that I think singles us out from other publishers. We've got 30 writers and editors and 50 plus designers on the in-house team here. We do have a thriving fiction department that operates a little bit more like a standard publisher. Another core quality of Usborne is our foreign language publishing operation. So we publish first in English language, and then we also publish in another 8 languages. And we've sold translation rights in 137 languages and dialects. So the before picture, the start of this transformation journey was back in 2019 when a new title management system was being discussed for the first time. Just for transparency, I joined Usborne in 2022, so I never actually interacted with the previous system myself. I spoke to 2 of our teams about their memories of how we operated before, so our UK sales team and our foreign language publishing team I mentioned. I'll skip over this very quickly, but I just wanted to give you a visual of how our old system looked, so you can have an idea of what we were working with. With our previous way of working with data, sales remembered having to create TIs or title information sheets manually, as there was no capacity to generate them from the system. That made presentations pretty challenging, as they had to combine the TIs into a PDF. Cover images had to be added in from a separate folder. Our foreign language team also remembered similar challenges, and they also had to send covers and inside spreads to their external distributors manually, and then resend them if there are any updates. Just for transparency, we do still work that way with some of our distributors, but that was kind of the default and the only option back then. And then for both teams, anytime there were any schedule changes, new titles, abandoned titles, etc., that was all conveyed via spreadsheet. It was also not very easy to report out on the title data. All of this could lead to any number of issues. Obviously, anything that's got such a human element has a real possibility of error. There were frequent miscommunications and just generally a huge amount of wasted time. So what was the catalyst for changing our approach with data? Practically speaking, our hand was forced in that the code that our system was based on was no longer going to be updated, so we did have to switch. It was just about picking the system. We ultimately knew that we had world-renowned, really rich backlist titles and a very exciting front list, and we just needed the ability to showcase all of this to its full potential. In terms of our metadata, we needed to not only be able to make the necessary improvements, but we also needed to be able to effectively report on what we were doing. And of course, we really needed to scale back the amount of time and energy that was being used for manual tasks. Ultimately, choosing a new system coincided with a business decision to make metadata a priority. So a new system was going to enable us to do this really effectively for the very first time. So I'm going to talk a bit now about some of the really tangible improvements that we found with BiblioSuite. Once this was in place, this is 2020, the team really hit the ground running with their improvements. And I'm just going to highlight a couple of areas where we can really see that in motion. The first one I wanted to mention is ONIX feeds, because this is something that's been so incredibly important to us to have. It was one of the priorities for getting Biblio in the first place, something that our partners and customers had been asking for a long time. So this is just a really a sample slide of some of the recipients of our data. We've got over 30 regular feeds now that we have set up, going worldwide, as well as the ones that you've got here. We've also been able to set up some exciting partnerships in the last couple of years with Edelweiss, a sales and marketing platform, and also with HarperCollins US as our distributors in the US. The latter has been really a huge success story for us at Usborne and for Biblio. 2024, which was our first full year on the market there, we published 296 titles. And so getting all of them set up on the system, created, printing them, getting their metadata out, and of course selling them, it was all an enormous undertaking, and being on Biblio to do this just made it 100 times easier. So our ONIX feeds have really been a game changer in how we can present our titles to the supply chain. Beyond just the core metadata, we're able now to send data about related, comparable titles. You can see here awards won by our titles. We can store this in the system, send it out in the feeds. And we often create extra material such as video trailers for new titles or new series that we're working on. We can send those in the feeds as well. Also, for some of our titles, we don't just create books, we also create games, jigsaws, and we can send information about the number of pieces included, for example. That's all in the product form feature, ONIX code. With our foreign language publishing, this is something else I wanted to highlight because I think the way that we work with it is quite interesting and unique. As I mentioned before, we publish in-house in 9 languages, including English. So we've got all of that multilingual data within our system. So I'll just show you now Biblio itself. So we're on one of our editions here, the Spooky Sticker Book. As you can see here, I'm on the Works Editions and Products screen. And I thought this just really highlights how useful it is to have all of our different editions housed under the one work here. You see that if you hover over, you can see the cover title in that language. Many of you will be familiar with the green dots to show that a title is confirmed or in print, and the out of print red dot. I'll go into I think I'm still in the UK edition. And we'll just go into the marketing copy here because I want to show some of the ways that we use the flags on here. So you can see here we've got the keynote, the description, the sales points all in English. But this flag here at the top, this shows what language you're on at the moment. So this is all English. I can then switch this. If I change it to Spanish, you'll see everything then disappears because obviously we don't have Spanish copy on here. And it should reappear if I find the Spanish edition. There it all is. And so it's really useful to be able to work with what we normally use as the starting copy, which is the UK English copy. I say that to differentiate it between the US copy. And we can copy it over, we can use the synchronization fields and translate it. I'll just pop it back to English. The second thing I just wanted to show you on here is the way that we work with the configuration of Biblio in a way that works for our products. So with the category codes, you have the option with Biblio to either keep them on the work module or on the editions. And with theme codes, we've chosen to keep them on the edition level. The reason for that is that there can be differences within the markets that we're aiming for. So this particular edition is a Spanish edition of Sticker Dolly Dressing Fairies. And we've got our theme codes here. They're going to slightly differ from the UK English edition. And the reason for that really is that in Spain, there are just some variations. So sticker books tend to be aimed at a lower age to what the UK edition is. So you can see here we've got the interest age of 4 years on the Spanish edition. And if we go to the English edition, we've got it at 5 years. So it's really good to just be able to have those options to adapt our metadata to fit the needs of the target market. So something else that we've been able to do since having ONIX feeds is make really large-scale changes to our data with relative ease. So an example of this is the image quality review that we carried out last year. Something that has become clear to us, or had become clear, was that the quality of the images that we were sending digitally was not reflecting the high standard of our books. And for children's books in particular, covers are packed with detail, colourful designs, and not being able to see them clearly was a significant hindrance to our sales. In particular, we were seeing some complaints from Amazon customers that the covers were too low res for them to be able to zoom in. So those have all been fixed. So I haven't got any examples of how it looked before, but I will show you how it looks now. And I'm going to use Amazon to demonstrate. So this is one of our That's Not My titles. It's one of our most popular series, a recent title from last year. Previously to this project, you would just maybe have seen this image itself. But now, thanks to the extra image quality, extra pixel size, you can zoom in on everything. And that's just so important for a touchy-feely book like this in particular. You can really see how soft the ears are on the inside spreads. You can see the hairy tummy. And you can just see so much more detail. And this is all just so much more important to the customer experience. And we're really pleased that we've done this for all of our titles. This is just another example. I thought I'd show you one of our fiction books. This is Ace of Spades. As you can see, the fact that you can zoom in on this cover just really makes a huge difference to it and to the customer experience. And of course, with fiction as well, it's also really important to have inside images, which is just the text of the book. It's just to give some extra to customers before they decide to buy. So that's something else that we added in this project as well. So really, there was a huge impact of the focus on metadata. So just going first of all to that particular project with the images, this really delivered significant results for us. So we now have approximately 1,200 titles with the zoom functionality that didn't have it before, thanks to the increased image quality that we've been sending. And across the list, we saw an average of 12% increase in the IDQ data score that Amazon provides. And we had 2,300 titles that improved on their previous scores. Additionally, as I said, we also made sure that around 500 of our current titles had more than 3 inside spreads, including each of our top 300 titles as well. Again, I realise it was all on Amazon, but because they're one of the only retailers that provides these kind of detailed metrics, it's really useful for us to have this data so that we can demonstrate well to our colleagues the success that we're having with this kind of improvement. More generally, our focus on our metadata and what Biblio can do for us has had really positive results in the company. So better and richer listings on retail sites. So where our data appears now, the extra information that we can send out via ONIX really means that we can shout about our books and what's special about them. We have more control of our data. So pre-Biblio, we would often see lots of random data appearing online. Now we really have clear overviews of our data and ownership. We can send it with the correct territory rights. We can make sure that we're named as the distributor. And recipients can just know that the data comes from us and they can trust it. We've had really positive feedback from people in the company about the time that's been saved through having Biblio. And all of our workflows, so I'm told, as I said, I wasn't here, are better and a lot smoother than they used to be. Just makes for a much better process for every book that we publish. So some things that have become really clear to us over the course of this whole transformation, I'll just share with you here. I think a really big part of Usborne's success in this area is the way that we distribute the work across the whole business. So we've really changed the perception, the idea of metadata. Everyone now understands that having good metadata is in everyone's interest and it's everyone's responsibility. We're a really small team. There's just 3 of us dedicated to metadata in the UK. So we obviously need more than just us to care about it. Something else that is really important, I think, is that we've learned where to get the best and most accurate data. So, for example, with our copy, as I mentioned, in most cases, editors create the books at Usborne. So they obviously know what needs to go in the description and what's the most important things we need to add in there. Marketing are amazing at really zhuzhing up and focusing the descriptions. And then our sales points are often refined by sales. So it's a really collaborative approach, and it takes the best of each team and adds it together. Something else that we've done is we have built in the time for metadata deadlines into the schedules. So it's a consideration from the very start of a book project. It's never an afterthought. What I think we have now is that we're in a place that we're really excited about at Usborne. Everybody is on the same page. They know the goals. They know the importance of metadata. I think it's just much less scary and a lot more accessible now that everybody is on Biblio and everyone can see what we're working on. We can make changes. We can try new things in a way that was really not possible for us before. What's also worth bearing in mind is that Biblio is always adapting and changing. So if something is not actually possible, you can ask the question and maybe other publishers are asking the same question. So there's always the possibility to make changes there as well. Finally, I think my message is just about not taking this system for granted. I know that lots of you watching may already be using Biblio, but I hope it's been helpful to see that from a relatively recent convert like Usborne, it can have a huge impact, and just not to take it for granted. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Helen. That was really great. And, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about some of the challenges that publishers face with fragmented data. We've taken a look at how BiblioSuite tackles those challenges. And we've heard from Helen at Usborne about their award-winning journey and the real-world impact of their metadata transformation. So to recap, there are 3 core takeaways that we would like to leave with you today. First, efficiency. It's more than just saving time. It's about building streamlined workflows that speed your time to publication, reduce errors, and free up your team's focus on higher value tasks. Secondly, discoverability. In a digital world, if you're not found, you don't exist. With AI-powered tools, pristine data, you can significantly enhance your search rankings and expand your market reach, ensuring your titles are visible to the right people at the right time. And thirdly, strategic insight. Your metadata isn't just for operations, it's a powerful source of business intelligence. It enables you to make data-driven decisions about your portfolio, identify market trends, and even unlock entirely new revenue opportunities through licensing. I think Usborne's story really shows what can happen when a team decides to tackle and prioritize metadata head-on. If you'd like to know more, there are a couple of ways you can get in touch with us. If you're going to be at Frankfurt Book Fair, please come along to see us. Say hello. We'll be in Hall 4 in the workstations on H75, Table 9. Or you can book a demo with us online by visiting our website, virtusales.com, or by scanning the QR code on the screen now. Thank you once again for your time and your attention today. We really hope you found this session useful and inspiring. And now we'd like to open up the floor to your questions. Okay, so we've got a few questions that have come in here. The first one, Russ, maybe this is one for you to answer. Can we use the ONIX wizard or a report to run to see if multiple works have missing pieces of metadata, or is it only on a title by title basis?
Yeah, thank you, Kat. That's a really interesting question. And there's a big strength of BiblioSuite, which allows the reporting module to be used to do all sorts of that type of exception reporting or targeted data analytics. We also have our groups module that allows users to work in batch. So if there's 10 titles you're trying to finish by the end of the week, you can use that groups module as well.
Great, thanks. And then the next question is about accessibility metadata. And this is maybe one that should be going to both of you, but Helen, do you think we could start with you and ask a little bit about how Usborne are managing accessibility?
Yeah, sure. So we're still ongoing with a project on this, coinciding with the eBook Accessibility Act, which obviously you guys both know about, which came into effect this year in June. Basically, we've just been trying to keep on top of all the kind of requirements with that and make sure that we're ready to implement it when Biblio is ready as well. There's lots in ONIX 3 in particular, where we can put our ebook metadata, make it as accessible as possible. There's also lots in there about if, for example, your title isn't accessible, you can actually put that in the metadata. So there's kind of no excuse now, I think. There's lots of options to be able to put out there, whether or not you've got accessibility into your books. And it's really, at Usborne, it's just been about making sure everyone is aware from the start of the fact that that is needed now. So with our fiction books in particular, we're always making sure that if we've got images in the books, we know that we have to put the alt text in there and we have to get that into the metadata as soon as possible. So it's just a kind of constant conversation, and I'm sure that's the case with lots of other publishers as well, but that's just our experience with it.
Yeah. And just to sort of add on to that, Russ, I know we've been doing quite a lot of development and enhancements around this area at the moment. Have you got a bit more you can add?
Yeah, absolutely. So for a long time, Biblio has supported the ability to send this information, and obviously it's become much more to the forefront in recent months. And this is where we continue to partner with our customers to enhance the product. As a recent development, we've just been finishing, for example, to allow publishers to extract the accessibility metadata from the EPUB file. Quite a common thing we heard from our customers was, and Helen, you probably share the same thoughts about the effort to actually get all the right metadata onto the product record. And so the idea of this development is to allow it to automatically be extracted from the EPUB file. So if the repro house has told you what the accessibility features are, when you upload that into our DAM module, you'll be able to automatically update that accessibility metadata on the product record and have it go downstream to your partners.
Great, thanks both of you. The next question that we've got is for Helen. Helen, could you talk a little bit about how you manage the schedule to make sure that everyone's putting in their data on time? And is that something that you manage within Biblio?
Yeah, great question. And I'd actually be interested to hear from you two as well if you've got any ideas about the way that I'm doing this. Really, we're using Biblio in the sense that we're reporting out of it and just kind of keeping on top of that. So with my kind of metadata reports, I just have like a set of titles or everything that's publishing within a certain time period, and I'm just going to the relevant people, finding the gaps, and just kind of keeping on top of that, and also making everyone aware from the start of when a book is kind of conceived, if you like, at Usborne, that these are the dates by which the cover will need to be there. These are the dates by which the core metadata and then the kind of extra metadata will need to be there. So it's just kind of, I'm using Biblio just in the sense of showing what's there at the moment and reporting on it. But there might be a more efficient way of doing that. But that's what we're doing for the moment.
Yeah, I think it sounds like great what you're doing already, Helen. I think there are some other options in the system. We have a scheduling capability, which often used by production teams, but also at that sort of more IP or work level, you can manage a schedule. So I've certainly seen some customers have dates in their schedule for certain pieces of metadata or certain key milestones. There's also things like configurable attributes, which I've seen customers use to actually signify when certain types of metadata are signed off or not, which can be used as sort of a tracking process. I think probably the key to Biblio really is that it's the many eyes. So everyone is in one system. Everyone knows where the metadata is. So it's not just one person responsible for metadata like yourself. Other people can come in and say, "Hey, wait, we're missing the jacket image, or it hasn't been updated," and yeah, everyone can sort of help each other to improve the metadata quality.
Thank you. We have got quite a few questions coming in here now. Helen, somebody has said that they would love to hear more about how to make our data overwrite old third-party metadata online. I know that's a challenge for lots of publishers. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is. And to be honest, that's one that we share as well. So I don't know if I have an amazing answer for that. But just to say that definitely solidarity with that. We can it happens all the time. And really the only way we found of mitigating it is just making sure that wherever possible we've got direct ONIX feeds set up. And that we're just kind of keeping constantly on top of that, that we've got good relationships with the people that we're sending the data to, that we've got quick ways of fixing things if they're not looking quite right. But yeah, and that's kind of the best way we found. I'm always keen to hear kind of more ways of doing this, but it's something that we as our kind of metadata team are trying to keep on top of as well, just to make sure that if we spot anything out in the wild that looks like our book but isn't our book, or is just like fundamentally some bits are missing or wrong, that we have a way to go in there and quickly fix it.
Thank you. We've got a couple of questions about what countries Biblio is available in, and one specific question about European countries. And so just to say, really, we've got a office in Germany now and a growing number of European customers, primarily in Germany itself. But we've also sort of seen quite a lot of publishers using Biblio in the Scandinavian and Nordic countries. So yeah, if you're interested, I guess reach out to us, give us a call, come along and see us at Frankfurt, and we'd love to talk with you. Moving on to another question, Russ, I think this is an easy one to answer. Asking about DOIs and BiblioSuite. Is there a link or possibility of a link?
Yeah, so absolutely, we can store DOIs in BiblioSuite, and yeah, we don't have to have ISBNs. So for digital products, DOIs can be the main identifier.
And that's pretty much it. We do actually have another one that's come up in the chat box, and that's asking about the lovely question around EUDR and product safety and in general sort of European regulations coming into play, and how we support those and integrate them into Biblio.
I can certainly help with this one. Maybe Helen as well. You could comment particularly on something like product safety regulation. There's probably summary is we're working with our customers as much as possible to understand, particularly for EDR, where does BiblioSuite fit in the overall solution landscape. And yeah, there will be functionality in Biblio for managing some of that EDR information, and importantly, being able to send it downstream to partners in the ONIX standard. Similarly for the GPSR, which obviously came into effect, I think, the start of this year. We did enhancements to BiblioSuite to allow us to try to meet the guidelines and ONIX standards for that type of data. So it's something we continue to work with our partners and continue to expand the functionality of Biblio to keep up with the ONIX standard.
Great, thank you. So we've just got one final question, which is asking about whether or not the system is available for self-published authors. Which I guess is quite a simple one to ask. It's a system that is used by publishers themselves. It sort of really supports the workflow behind it, and so it's a system that sort of starts adding value really as the volume increases. And so we tend to deal with publishers, sort of small to medium publishers, all the way up to some of the biggest publishers in the world. but it is something we work with publishers directly rather than authors themselves. So I think that's about it for the questions. I had one myself for Helen. I'd love to know if you've got any plans for further improvements or sort of future initiatives around your metadata.
In terms of big projects, we haven't got anything kind of major at the moment. We're just kind of, I guess, trying to build on what we've been doing. So just keep finding small wins where we can. But it's just everything feels a lot more doable now that we've got everybody confident using Biblio, confident even with like the language of metadata and everything that we're doing around it. It's just more of a sort of company-wide conversation now. So we've got ONIX feeds as well as something that I really want to improve on a little bit more. I talked a little bit about it in my presentation, but I would love to just get as many of those up and running as we can. And particularly with our foreign language publishing as well, that's something I would love to have, just because, as I've talked about before, it just really makes things so much easier in terms of knowing where our data is going, and also conversely the recipients trusting the source of it as well. So that's something I'm personally going to be working on a lot in this coming year. But yeah, lots of exciting plans.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think that's all the questions we've got. So I can give you back a few more minutes this afternoon. Helen and Russ, I really appreciate your time today, and to everyone for joining us. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.